For you.
I'm good, baby. How about you? Everything good with you, sir?
Yes, sir, man. Trying to make it happen, trying to grow up. You know how we doing, trying to push forward, man.
Yes, sir.
Look like you in a different spot this morning. Where are you, man?
Man, I'm around, baby. I'm close, not too far. You know what I'm saying?
Moving and shaking. All right,
Yes,
fam.
sir.
Look, we glad to see y'all this morning. Whenever you're watching it, but we're gonna dive in today. We got a topic that seems a little off, but it's actually gonna bring a little light to all of us. We were talking, and one concept that came up the other day was the storm is your friend. What does that mean? The storm is considered as like a battle, a struggle. Like, are you going through something? And I think most of us are going through things that throw us off course, that seems very unbearable at times. It
Right.
seems difficult. It seems hard. And life at some point seems to suck when you're in the middle of that chaos. And I want to throw a twist on it. And we're going to talk through it this morning to tell you that that storm that you're in right now is is your friend. Is your friend. Does that make sense?
Right.
All right.
Yes.
So when I identify, and I want you to chime in when you can. When I identify storms, it seems like that's the worst place in the world because it's out of your comfort zone. I am going through storms in my life, and everybody got their version of how tough the storm is. But when you are not comfortable, when things are not always smooth, when everything is not clicking, you're challenged to be on edge. You know, you may have anxiety, you may have a level of fear that peeks into your life, and you're wondering like how you're going to get through this situation, right? Um,
Right.
I think that a storm is necessary as a part of the whole equation of everything
Hmm.
because it is the storms that help you. One, and I got a couple places I'm gonna go with this, but let's go this. It's the storm that helps you know or appreciate the times that are good that we may take for granted, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So when we go through storms, it should remind us that what we thought was just normal life was just okay when we was pushing for more and trying to do more and trying to be better or whatever it is. When we take those things for granted and not be grateful, the storms make you realize, I wish I had that again. That's the place that
Hmm.
I should have been grateful for. That's the
Hmm.
place that I should have been praising God for. That's the place that I should have been thankful and being more productive because I was in a season of comfort, even though I had my mindset on wanting to produce the next best thing.
Right.
What you think about that, bro?
Man, that's very good, man. You said a lot of interesting things, a lot of things that make people think, and a lot of things that make people really go back and socialize and realize some of the places they was at and some of the things that they were brought through and some of the things that God actually brought them through that really got them in a place of extending their faith. So I definitely understand where you coming from with that, man, because I was thinking so many different directions when you was just talking about that. And
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking finance, I'm thinking like life and death, losing people. I'm
Right.
thinking about situations that you just found yourself into, like on the last show we was talking about, that you just know God got you out of certain things. And that's a real great topic because it's just like if you don't struggle through some of the things that help you understand that the struggle was just something to take you to the next level,
Mm.
or the storm, should I say,
Yeah.
was something to take you to the next level. Then this is like things that have come your way in today's time or just in life period that
Right.
you would just want to just lay it all down and just say forget it because it's like you feel like you can't handle it. But just being able to be brought through some of them storms and different things that you go through in life, it allows you to understand that, hey, this might just be a test, or hey, this gonna put some spark up under me to just get things done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like I had a partner, man. He used to crack me up, man. But it was years later, because I didn't have the responsibility on me that he had on him. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, man, I don't pay bills, so I get the red slip. And I used to laugh. I'm like, what? And he was getting money. We was getting some money at the time, man.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
he was getting a lot more than me. So I was laughing. I didn't understand it. And but as time went on, it just helped me understand that I looked at it at two different ways. I looked at it as one, he allowed to take the money and do a lot of other things to make other things move while he waiting, letting that bill build up. And
Mhm.
then two, it helped me understood that he reacted better under pressure.
Hmm.
So a lot of us don't understand, you know what I'm
Good.
saying? A lot of us think pressure busts pipes, but a lot of us don't understand sometimes that pressure or that storm actually put us in a position where we actually perform. And
Man.
sometimes it take that pressure on you to understand that, hey, I got to get this done. Some people don't move when they know they got time, when they know time on their side, when they know they could just relax and be stagnant.
Sir.
But sometimes when that pressure get on them, it's like the Pistons, you know what I'm saying? They reacted good when they three-peated, you know what I'm saying? Under that pressure, sometimes they was performing back in the day. So
Right.
you just got to know different people, react under different circumstances different. And a lot of people don't understand until they start going through things like that, that sometimes the pressure is what make them move, the
Yeah.
storm.
Yeah, no, I think that's 100% correct. You basically summed it up all in that thing. I was trying to look up definitions to storm, and it says a violent disturbance of your atmosphere. So whether through strong winds or we're going to take it out of the science part of it, but whether, like you say, through financial situation, whether it be through marital situations, whether it be through friendship, being hated on, going through your business. But watch this: when that violent atmosphere changes, where there's a violent disturbance in your atmosphere, it puts you on guard. It wakes you up. And so a lot of times when it's time to wake up, like you said, when your back's against the wall, that's when you put your hands up. That's when you know it's time not to just relax and procrastinate. It's time to execute. And if you're using the creative ability that's inside of you, like you say, we are most creative when we have to figure out something because self-preservation kicks in. It's the natural thing that we were created to produce life and to live. All of our bodily functions are made to fight for us, from the immune system to our endocrine system to our musculatory system. Like everything is made, and when it's challenged, it perks up. And so the storm is considered a friend to me because when I'm lazy or when I'm not like focused on producing, using my creativity to grow, I'm in a comfort zone. But that challenge is making you say, hey, enough is enough. I have to be self-preserving and figure out how do I fight to live. And there's only two ways that we can go at this thing. When we are in our battles, when I'm in my battles, I can say, okay, I'm gonna lay down and I'm gonna rest and I'm just gonna take this storm and I'm gonna die in it, or I'm gonna be provoked to get up and to execute. And that's when it becomes my friend. When you say that I'm not gonna let this take me out. I can't let it
Right.
take me out.
Right.
So if you are going through, you cannot let it take you out. This is when you pull on the people that's around you, even if it's partnering with them to say, hey, help me through this situation. Or I want to embellish my gifts. How can we attack this? You know what I'm saying? You start reaching and searching for creative
Mm.
ways to produce and get out of that rut that we're in.
Man, I like one thing you said that resonated in my spirit was self-preserving, man. And see, a lot of people may listen to what we're talking about today and they say, okay, well, they talking about basically the ability of going through storms in your finances. But that word you said just said did something to me, self-preserving. See, when you go through things that's a storm, may it be a bad business deal, your finances,
Mm-hmm.
a bad marriage, a bad relationship,
Mm-hmm.
self-preserving. Seeing them storms, that's what you learn, self-preserving, because it's things that you go through in those situations in that storm that allow you to know to keep that umbrella closer.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that,
Mm-hmm.
when you go through them storms and you know how bad that storm came down on you, you prepare for the storm to where certain things that were so hard on you in that storm, you learn from that storm how to be more protective of yourself to make sure that you cover yourself in that storm a little faster than you did the last time.
Yeah.
And that's what's important about a storm. See, storms come, to prepare you to not get caught the same way you did in the last storm. So
Yeah.
you can be prepared to protect yourself, whether it be, okay, this don't sound right in this deal. I remember something, I talked to somebody about something like this.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds too good to be true. No, this not a good deal. This not a
Mm-hmm.
good deal. Anything, sometimes, mostly, it sound too good. Most of the times, not too good. Okay, I remember going through something like this in my relationship. I remember going through depression, being stuck in this thing with this love and this, that, and the third, and being stuck to the point where I couldn't get up. I didn't have no motivation. I was depressed. I was stressed. I stopped loving myself. So to put you in a position where you say, you know what, I remember last time what helped me through this was Starting to eat better, starting to, get my nails done,
Yeah.
going to get a massage,
Yeah.
getting in the gym, and and then with my finances. I remember last time I went so broke because I was stressed out financially that I couldn't I couldn't even figure out how to make money. So now I got to get back to the basics.
To
I
teach.
can't look at how I'm gonna make them thousands and them 500,000. Okay, the economy took a crash in the housing market. Just examples. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you
That
good. Good.
we go through. Okay, now I got to get back to the ones and twos. I got to start making the hundreds. I got to start making the fifties. I can't get these. I may not be able to hit a lick selling this house or doing this deal and making me 5 or 10,000. I might have to start looking to make me 100 here, 100 here. Get back to the basics. See, sometimes we get so far away
Man.
from the come up. How we came up, that we get so stuck into being spoiled and making that big dollar because we watch ourselves level up till we get so spoiled and we forget how much of a blessing it is, and we forget about how we get to the levels to get us to the point to be able to make that money. See, but if
Man.
you stay mindful of
Yes,
what
sir.
it took you, and you stay humble enough to say, hey, I don't mind going back to doing what God showed me to do at the bottom to work my way back up to the top. That's why I say in most cases, the worst thing you can do, what I'm saying, in business is just, hey, take a loss, because one thing they can't take is your lessons. They
Yeah.
can't take your talents, your ability, what you learned, your experiences. Once you got them experiences, it's very hard for somebody to just knock you down and leave you down there no matter what you go through, because really it's the storm that prepare you on how to get back through the next storm. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, man. Bro, you on fire today. What I heard in that self-preservation also is the storm makes you prioritize what's
Mm-hmm.
important. In
Mm-hmm.
a storm, the first thing you seek is shelter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the
Sure.
fact
Yeah.
that to shelter yourself is the most important thing. When all the glitz and the glamour is what we were chasing and distracted about, or what we want to have, or we couldn't have, the storm make you like, you need shelter, you need food, you know what I'm saying? You need water. These are the basic things that are the priority. These are the
Right.
most important things. And when you realize what's most important to you, long as you can recover those things. Now, like you said, going back to the basics, how do I build from this particular moment?
Mm-hmm.
Which and not being so caught up in the shiny things or what everybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
How do I get to recover what's the most important thing in this battle that I'm in? Right.
Right.
And so from that the recovery of the most important things, you rebalance. I'm going to rebalance myself and then commit to executing the rebuilding of what's going on. And anytime you're practicing this because a storm has knocked you off your feet, every time you get knocked on your feet and you figure out a way to get back up because you go back to the basics, as you just so eloquently explained, by going to the 1 through 3s, you build that muscle. And so
Yeah.
now you have experiential knowledge and there's an understanding of how to get knocked down and get back up, as opposed to just floating on thin air and thinking why everybody don't understand life is so great. No, it's you going through some stuff that builds empathy for others. It's going through stuff that gives patience to yourself. It's going through stuff that lets you know that God can even help you through situations that you thought you couldn't have. How many of us have been through situations in our life that we thought we would never get out of once when we were in it? But if you look around, like that thing is a scar. It's gone. I remember it, but it doesn't affect me anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
figured out a way to get through that. And so if we can see that our future is around the corner, if we build towards and prioritize it by understanding this storm is going to help strengthen us, it'll be easier to walk through and get to tomorrow.
Yeah, and most of them storms come to help you reprioritize things. So what we got to understand is, in those storms, you don't watch a house get knocked down in a bad storm and you build it back the same way it was.
Right.
You get an architect, you get a designer, what I'm saying, you do wind tests, you do storm tests, you try to figure out what it is you can do to make that storm not be able to affect that house as
Mm-hmm.
bad as it did. Not saying it's not going to come, maybe bust a glass window, so on and so forth, but you don't want it to come tear everything up. So,
Yeah.
and I think that's what these storms do in our lives. It help us to reprioritize things in our lives to make us understand where we fell short at, what we did wrong. Because if you go through these storms and all you doing is look to the sky and saying, dang, God, you just make it rain hard, or I'm so sick of these storms, and it's always raining and messing something up, and you don't figure out what it is you did wrong in the storm to allow yourself to build back stronger and make yourself a better person.
Yeah.
Then you doomed from the start, because if you're not prepping yourself to deal with that storm, You
Hmm.
can't just keep looking to the sky, pointing the blame at the rain. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out what it is you can do. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, to protect yourself, because the storm ain't gonna stop coming. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
that's
sir.
what we got to do in these storms we go through. We got to look at ourselves and reexamine the things. If I said, "Oh, if that storm came right now today, what would it? What is it that I would do different that I did in the last storm to make myself be able to get through that storm a lot smoother?" Because a lot of these storms come with lessons. You know what I'm saying? And then the lesson is a blessing. So we got to just understand what's in that. What's the lesson? So when the next storm come, we can receive our blessing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I want to recap some of the points that we pulled out here. If somebody needed a how to or how to respond, if I'm saying because you're in a storm and how to perceive the storm as a potential blessing blessing means to empower you. How can
Mm-hmm.
I use this difficulty to give me power? Number one, you got to look for the lesson in this storm. My atmosphere is disturbed violently. Like, God, show me what is it about this situation that there's a lesson, something that you want to teach me. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is it reprioritize. I can reprioritize my focus on what's important to me. How do I protect the things that I still have that I don't want to lose? And how, even when I get out this storm, am I going to put value in them so I can maintain a level of contentment? Right. Number three, how do I go back to the basics? You know what I'm saying? What are the one, two, threes? Like, what do I need to do
Mm-hmm.
to rebuild myself from the beginning? Number four, self-preservation. How do I protect myself? Right. And how do I use this to provoke me to move and get off my butt? Because if I stay in the middle of the storm just without a fight, I'm going to get attacked. The storm has opportunity. I'm giving it opportunity to take me out. So I have to preserve myself. How
Mm-hmm.
do I put on the armor that I need to fend off what may be malice that's come against me, or what may be a mistake that even I've put myself into by not doing things correctly or setting things in order? And then this, which leads into the last one, what is it that I can do different so that I don't have to be back in this storm the next time? What
Mm.
experiential knowledge is
Yes.
necessary from the understanding that I get, right? You know what I'm saying? The thing that I went through, what experience did I do to help me do things differently to protect myself against this and grow from this
Mhm.
going forward?
And I think, man, and we're gonna wrap it up. This I think this was real good, real settled, real smooth, and real to the point, man. I actually really enjoyed this one today. But and I think, man, this is something we all can relate to, and it's something we all going through, because this is like, at some point we all look at life and we got to understand on where we want to be and where we plan to be and where we should be, and then we find ourselves battling storms that we feel like, you know what I'm saying, we bigger than. This is like, oh man, that's a drizzle to me. You know, I've been through that. That shouldn't even be a storm. But then it come, and what we consider something that shouldn't be so hard, or something that should just come so easy, like a pass through rain, it's it's having an effect on us, in a way we feel like, we're more mature than, So I think we should just really take time and just, like you say, reevaluate the things, look at some of the things we could do different, and then that'll make things, prioritize better. That'll make things a lot more, successful to battle these storms.
Yes, sir.
I think I think a lot of people, man, they made a lot of mistakes, in their past, and looking at life and just saying, you know what, I got to really change some things. There's some things I got to fix. There's some things I need to do. And I think this is now is the time, man. I think
Yeah.
it's an awakening going on. I think it's a shifting going on in maturity and what people understand, and that's important. I think a lot of people are getting away from, like, being in the who's and what's and trying to, make sure they fit in with what everybody else doing. I think a lot of people are doing a lot of self-evaluating and
Yes,
starting
sir.
to understand that they really got to shape it up. You know what I'm saying? Shape up or ship out, if you know what I mean, like the old
Yeah.
folks used to say.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good time for this conversation. I think it was an on point topic. I appreciate you for picking this one, and I think it's a wrap.
Yes, sir. It's a wrap. Really responding as people should. Now, people, we're not doing this just to be on here. So if you got something out of this, if God spoke to you, if it's something that can help you out of this battle, because we all go through some level of depression. And depression, we don't have to make it deeper than it is. It's where you
Mhm.
take your own thoughts and you depress yourself. It's a personal thing where you say what you can't do, what you're not, and then though that constant repetition or meditation of what's not right in your life causes depression if you don't stop it. So if you're in a storm or if you're in a battle, it's easy to get depressed. It's easy to depress yourself. So respond by taking these keys, go back and listen to them. And like Cal said, go back to the basics, start the rebuilding process and the awakening that we all are going through in self-evaluation and getting away from being distracted with all the mess that's in the world. So it's a wrap, baby. Really respond as people should, man. We love you guys. We'll see you on the
Love you
next one.
guys. I
Appreciate
appreciate y'all tuning in. We thank you for all the positive feedback, the prayers, keeping us going. Much love, everybody.
you. Yes, sir. All right, bro. Love you, man.
All right, bro. Much love. We love you, bro.